Today, I'm going to be cutting some soap. I'm putting on my gloves. Do you love them? I got these at the dollar store for $1. They were not the Dollar Tree, the Dollar General. So, I love these gloves. They're so comfy. Sometimes I use these gloves too, but gloves get expensive to buy. This is my soap cutter. It used to be a mold, a soap mold, but it broke. But it has a little notch in it. See right here? I broke it here too. Got a little zestful with the mold. And then here is my cutter. It's a single bar cutter. My husband made this for me. He actually made me two. This one has like this little guitar string tuner that I can tighten it or loosen it up. It's made out of just like some kind of gauged wire. I forget what he called it. What he called it. It's not guitar wire. That was too thin for what I needed, and it had kind of like groovy stuff in it. So there is my soap cutter. And I put my soap in these boxes lined with some craft paper so I can change out between soaps. And like now we're going to do some unwrapping. This is my soaps. I wrap them in towels. It keeps the heat in while the soap is cooking. It's called cold process soap, but it heats itself up during the chemical reaction of the soap making, and it goes through this thing called gel phase. Gel phase is like the hottest point of a soap where the soap gets really translucent, and it's pretty cool, but it makes the soap itself look different than like if it were non-gel phase. I also, so this is my soap mold. I use these bungees to hook it together. So I saw this design on Pinterest, well, something similar like it, and I thought it was super cool. So I asked a local woodworker guy to make one. Check that out. It has a little groovy door. Dun, dun, dun. That's because what I noticed was my soaps were like getting stuck in the mold, and I had to like kind of force them out, and see how like that just comes out. Check it out. It was in there like this, and now it comes out. Super cool. So it's just got hinges on it. It's like a bunch of 1-bys. I use this mold. I got 2 of these kinds. They're heavily used. So this is Berries and Mimosas. It smells delicious. Oh, you could have seen I had like a little piece of freezer paper on top of my soap. It keeps it from frosting. Some soap frosts. We call it soap ash. I don't particularly like soap ash, but when I cover the soap with a piece of paper, it like keeps in the heat and the reaction of the soap, so it doesn't develop ash. I'm not quite sure why. I've experimented with it on multiple occasions. This is the best way that I know to keep the soap ash. Oh, monster, away from my soap. So here is a loaf of soap. Check it out. Isn't that cool? It's big, it's big. Sometimes I plane my soap. I have a planer my husband also made me. I'll just show you this. So it has a little piece of wire here, and I slide the loaf of soap through that, and it makes the soap nice and smooth on top. But I like the pretties on the soap. So my widths of my soap is also they're 1 inch deep. I don't cut my ends. I don't make them nice and pretty. Some people do. I'll sell it like it is, or we use the ends sometimes for samples. So I take my soap, line it up, and then I set it down. So there is some bar soap. It's orange and kind of pinkish. Again, this one's Berries and Mimosas. So color scheme is it. My swirling didn't get so great in there, but that's okay because people don't buy it for the swirl really. They buy it because they love the smell of this. I also make a lotion out of it. I might make other things, but that's all I've gotten for it. So my mold makes 16 bars of soap, 15 bars of soap. They are approximately 4 ounces at final weight. That's the minimum I sell my soap up for. Just because I don't really do a whole lot of cleanup on my soap. Just kind of smooth it out. I might come back in a couple days and check it out just to see do I need to trim any edges or whatnot. I am the kind of person who just believes in the most minimalist handling possible with my soap. That goes with my packaging and the making and the cutting of the soap. This newspaper is really annoying me. You see those little bubbles? I don't know if you can see them. If you ever see these on the soap, and I'm guaranteeing you will, is actually they're drag marks. So what happens is the wire is pressing up against the soap and it's causing like these micro bubbles to form on the surface. And then they cause a little bubbling on the surface. Some people don't like that. They're like, we must make our soap as cosmetically pretty as possible. If you want to make it as pretty as possible, go for it. I, again, am not like that. I'm all about like, you're gonna open the soap, you're gonna be like, oh, that's pretty, and then you're gonna put it in the shower, and then it's gonna wash those bubbles away anyway. I don't sell my soap naked either. You see it in the box, and all you really see is the top little piece of this soap. So I don't get all like cosmetically pretty and stuff. Now, if you want to like have really pretty soap, handle it a whole bunch, charge accordingly. I charge accordingly. Ooh, this soap is still actually pretty soft. I nicked the corner on that. Pretty pretty. This, look at this one, doesn't have very many swirls. This side does. It's interesting how that all works out. Lift this up a little bit. Lift this a little forward. Can you see? Move the light a little bit more. Ooh, that's a little bright. That's better here. I put these little risers underneath my soap mold so it doesn't bump the bottom. I was getting bad interference with the table and the soap cutter. I didn't use the risers. So typically I use them for when I'm making like milk soap. So I get air circulation around the soap. Check that out. No swirls really in that bar. I won't insulate it either. I'll just let it kind of sit naked and we'll put a little piece of paper on it, or I'll put it in the refrigerator. Anyway, so here, let's cut along. Sometimes I'll weigh a couple bars of soap just to see what they're coming in at, and make sure that I'm cutting evenly. I also weigh the bars through the curing process. It takes at the minimum like 4 weeks for me, depending on how humid it is outside too. I soap in the basement. If you can see the soap room tour, it doesn't get too wet down here, but I can feel the difference in humidity. I have some bubble bars right now curing that are still kind of wet, so it's gonna take a couple days. But I forgot to show you how pretty the top was. Look at them little pretty swirls. They were pretty. Oh, check it out. There's some slight glycerin rivers in here too. You can't really tell. I can. It is interesting how the soap shows them. Here's that pretty swirl. This is like an in the pot swirl. I didn't really like swirl it in the molds. I pour it into, I mix the colors and I pour one color into the other, swirl it around in the mold, in the bowl, and then I pour it, and then it comes out like these little droppy swirls. And then here's the end of this one. So the way that it works out, this is not a full bar at the end. So I will cut this up for samples. People love samples. So the samples end up being about 1 ounces. It's about the size of a Guess bar soap. I mean, it's enough to say, oh, I like this soap, or no, I don't like this soap, and we're not buying that soap again. It's just I cut the soap in half and then I quarter it. And then whatever left is left. So I did not cut that very well. Yeah, some samples. I'll lay them on here. So this soap is actually really soft, surprisingly. I don't really feel that the soap is usually that soft. And then a little washcloth here. Let's wipe this down some. And that was Berries and Mimosas. So here you can see the entire box of soap. This made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it does make 16 bars. 16 like 16 1-inch bars, but it's really like 16 and 7/8 bars. But these are 1-inch bars. They fit into the boxes pretty awesomely. And then here we're cutting lively lemongrass. Lively lemongrass is a soap. It's like one of the favoriteest soaps. My best friend loves this soap. My husband loves this soap. Everybody loves this soap. It's kind of unisex. Here it is in my awesome hinge mold. Isn't that amazing? It is pretty amazing. Sometimes it does get stuck on the inside. So what I do is I lean this soap. Peel it out this way. There's lemongrass.